僕は最低だ。
Today is quite the exciting video, ladies and gents, as we are taking a deep dive into some epic moments in which a main character is about to reveal their true powers during crucial moments to their enemies or just in general. Get ready for the action, as this list will showcase 10 series you may be familiar with, but for this topic in general, it's all about those insane twists and turns that remind you of how good those series are. Now, if you are new around here, then please subscribe with the notifications bell, as it will really help my channel out in the long run. Now, without keeping you all waiting, let us begin with the video. Kick things off with Mullet Fantasy, which is an isekai series many people enjoyed so much, and it's actually receiving its second season down the line. Now, this scene focuses on quite the intense final battle with both Lancer and Sophia, who encounter Makoto to try and finish this for good. Reason being is because Sophia actually believes he was brought here by the goddess, in which is why she attacked him in the first place, causing Makoto to also retaliate and show his true powers by removing his ring from his finger, which has concealed his powers for this long. Even though she admires him for being one of the strongest adventurers, she tried to kill him due to her hate towards the goddess. Next up on this list we have is Rocket Aikishi, an anime series that aired back in 2015 and features possibly one of the best, weakest looking characters who actually put up great fights. In this case here, Stella and Ikki go head to head in a duel where the loser becomes a slave of the other person. All this happened back when Ikki saw Stella naked on accident, and due to her anger, she really wanted, some payback, which pretty much backfired on her. Stella is actually an A-ranked blazer, thinking she was the strongest and could easily secure a victory, but even an F-ranked blazer have tricks up their sleeves, and you won't see it coming until you face them in battle. Of the Immortal King is hands down one of the best Chinese anime series made, and to this day I enjoyed it so much. It is also getting a third season very soon, which I'm really looking forward to. Now, this scene is one of the biggest impacts of the show when the protagonist goes full power due to his immense rage after witnessing his beloved girlfriend, disappear right in front of him, which caused so much anger to build up that he let it all out by beating the crap out of the person responsible. Something like this just feels so good to watch, watching a character you like using all his full potential on the villain, completely destroying her with blow after blow without any mercy being shown. Now, this right here is what I call true power.
王烈，辛苦你了。动手啊！
四郎，
你个废物，到手！要跑去哪儿？
僕もかけよう。すべて。
Plunder is a great example of when a character showcases his true power, a series where a legendary warrior of the past called the Plunder somehow is alive and survived the Great War of the Past, now hides his identity from others, including his powers. Now, this scene in particular is when people were getting killed left, right, center in front of Lisht, and he had no choice but to remember who he was truly in the past during the war, which caused him to lose sight of who he is now and go berserk, unleashing his killer instinct powers to strike the enemy down. This was one of the greatest moments in the series and still gives me the chills to this day. That time I I got Reincarnated as a slime is regarded as being a top tier isekai, which I definitely agree on. A mere weak looking slime turns out to be an overpowered protagonist, able to absorb enemies, gain abilities thanks to the sage's help, and even become a demon lord. Now this scene is the final battle of the second season when Rimuru goes up against a demon lord named Clayman. Even when Clayman used his full powered move Demon Blaster, Rimuru actually still managed to negate it using Beelzebub and completely destroy Clayman and his useless final form which he was in. Something tells me that Clayman might have been the weakest demon lord out of all the others, but regardless if that is true, it was an insane battle to watch. Up next is The God of High School, which is an anime series that might not have been perfect with its narrative part, but it was indeed its best during its action sequences, which was the main thing that this anime stood out for the most. Now this scene was the final fight between Jin Mori and his opponent, a battle between gods and a clash that cannot be forgotten. Two powerhouses go head to head in this final battle with some of the best visuals coming from a Korean manga. I've never been so excited to see a pleasant adaptation come to life. Zetsuen no Tempest aired back in 2012 and was considered to be one of the best psychological shonen series that came out during that time. It follows a main character who wishes to save the world and avenge his sister who was murdered, in which a mystery is now taking place. This scene strikes when Mahiro's friend was visiting the graveyard to see someone and was then attacked by a woman named Evangeline who was equipped with guns, and Mahiro then shows up to save his friend from showing his epic power by countering all of Evangeline's shots by stopping bullets mid-air. And after defeating her, he wanted his friend to aid him in saving the world by stopping this curse that was turning living things into metal, and that the tree of Zetsuen is being revived that could potentially destroy the whole world. Honestly, nothing is more better than to showcase your ultimate attacks repeatedly to make sure the dead stays dead, which is what happens a lot in this anime called Overly Cautious Hero. Seiya was summoned by the goddess Rista to defeat the demon lord, but there was one huge issue with Seiya, and that was that he is extremely cautious no matter what enemy he is facing. He has the tendency of using overpowered attacks on dead enemies to make sure they stay dead, and that is what happened during the scene right here when he unleashes one of his most powerful abilities on a pile of ashes on the floor, destroying the whole town and burning it down in the process. It was so unneeded, but it was extremely funny to watch. Now this here actually tops many things in general, where you have an average looking main character named Mob who looks weak but has tremendous psychic powers and the abilities that he hides at school. Mob Psycho 100 is indeed a masterpiece that is created by Studio Bones, with a third season coming very soon. Now this scene is where Mob not only goes 100% but also can go beyond that to an unknown percentage, which actually nobody knows exactly the amount, and that is where Mob's true powers reside. But using this power could actually even cause him to destroy the whole world, but does trigger from time to time in very crucial situations.
何言ってんだ。燃え散れ。
Finally on this list we have is Codebreaker, another classic with a cold-hearted main character who wields blue flames. Looking like an average high school boy, this scene happens when a girl was being held up by a street gang that is about to beat her up, and then the main character comes to the rescue by obliterating and burning all those delinquents, as somehow they have chosen death and thought it was a great idea to attack him, fully knowing that he has used his epic powers in front of them. After saving the girl, he then decides to grab her face and burn her down too, which didn't really happen, but it just looked like that.
してと言った。燃え散れ。
That is all I have for today's video, and now the action has come to an end. Depending on how this video does, I'll consider, doing a part 2 if you really want to see it. Then please leave a like to show your support, and as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next one.